How are we doing, guys? Moose here. Welcome back to episode number 58 of our West Ham United career mode. Thank you so much for the support on the last episode. Of course, we're coming off the back of an FA Cup final victory, our first piece of silverware here coming in season 2 of the career mode, and we're possibly on the tails of a second piece of silverware. We're one match remaining in the season. We're just 3 points behind Chelsea and a single goal behind them on goal difference. So if they lose and we win, we will overtake them. So we're going to have to rely on that. Of course, some other big games: Middlesbrough, Norwich, Crystal Palace, all three of them fighting to see who will be the final two teams relegated. QPR already down, so a lot of stuff going on. In addition, Liverpool could jump up as high as 5th, depending on what Tottenham do. Otherwise, I mean, we're locked in the top 2, but it will depend on these matches coming up. So relegation battle-wise, you got Norwich against Hull. You have Middlesbrough taking on Stoke City. Crystal Palace taking on West Brom. We're taking on Sunderland, and we need Bournemouth to come up big and beat Chelsea for us, and that will get us that Premier League title. That would be unbelievable if they could win. We take on Sunderland 2 days later because of the way they scheduled the FA Cup final. But after seeing the day's results, Middlesbrough have gone down, Norwich have gone down. I mean, Crystal Palace have escaped the drop, and Chelsea won over Bournemouth, meaning that they are the Barclays Premier League champions. They didn't win last year. Tottenham Hotspur were last year's champions. They're not able to retain their title, but Chelsea do pick up the Barclays Premier League championship. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do the double this season, and that means with our final match against Sunderland coming actually on like a Tuesday in the middle of the week, we're just going to rest some boys here. We're going to play a lot of the youngsters, get them a match here at home at the Bowen here to finish up the season. Chelsea won by 2 goals to 0 against Bournemouth, unfortunately for us. So the best we can finish here is 2nd place. The other match going on today sees Liverpool possibly be able to jump up into 5th or 6th. Otherwise, we got Butland in goal. Tompkins is going to play right back. Oxford, Reed in center back partnership. Cresswell, Gorska and Noble, Gabriel, Lanzini, Alder, and Sacco. So our front four is completely different from what we normally play, because I decided let's give Sacco a chance up front, see if he can convince. Lanzini has a decent season. He's got 6 assists actually, which is in like the top 10 in the Premier League, but he just hasn't impressed otherwise, so we'll give him another chance. Gabriel gets a chance to continue to impress, to convince us to maybe buy him, and we'll get the youngster out there in to see how he can do. But Lanzini starts off brightly here in the 16th minute, dances around 2 players, and could this be a sign of things to come? He goes down. It was a nice block by the Sunderland man, but Lanzini starts off very, very brightly for Sunderland. Coming the other way, Will Buckley finds Fabio Barini, the former Liverpool striker, strikes at goal, and Jack Butland does well to keep out the Italian. Very good save from Jack Butland, but Lanzini comes back the other way. It's a second chance for him. He's brought down from behind by the Sunderland defender. It's only going to be a booking for, I believe it was Cattermole or Quatez, one of the two, but Lanzini actually gets the go-ahead from Mark Noble to step up and take it, and Manuel Lanzini puts the ball in the back of the net. Great composure from him. Noble's had enough goals this season. He says, you know what, last game of the season, Manuel, you won the penalty. He asked if he could take it, and Noble said, go ahead, my son, put it away, and he does just that. So we take an early 1-0 lead. Lanzini wins the penalty, and Lanzini puts it in the back of the net. Really good finish. Sends Minone the other way, and it's a simple finish for Lanzini, who maybe he's been underrated. I thought he was decent last season, but I think he actually has better stats this year compared to last, which is impressive considering he hasn't played a ton, obviously, since some of the big buys we've had. Dybala, Lacazette, etc. Lanzini, the 3 goals now and 6 assists in the Premier League campaign, so not a bad return for someone who hasn't been in the lineup too much. But Butland with another good save, capping off this sublime campaign that he's had. He's actually the best goalkeeper in the Premier League, most clean sheets. We have the best goal difference, or not goal difference, excuse me, but we have the best goals against in the entire league. Only 30 goals against at this point in the campaign with 1 match to go, so unbelievable from him. But Cresswell now with the ball forward, chips it in. Lanzini, not a man you would expect to win a header, but he jumps in front of it. Aaron Cresswell actually gets, I believe, it might be his first assist of the entire season, which is unbelievable with the fantastic service that he has provided his teammates. He whips the ball in so delightfully from that left-hand side all the time. Finds the head of Lanzini, who you wouldn't expect to out-jump. I think that might have been Kabul, and he wins the header. It's in the back of the net, and Lanzini with his 2nd of the night. That's an absolute peach of a header. Leaps like a salmon, gives it his all, doesn't want to mess up his hair, but he says, you know what, I'm going to do it anyways. Bash into the back of the net. It's his 4th goal in the Premier League. He's got double-digit return in goals overall with goals and assists combined. So great from Lanzini. Sacco then does very well here. Links up with our young star, Leandro Alder. He finds Diafra. Sacco through, and it's a third. Lovely composure from Diafra. He's looking to convince us to keep him this year. He's really struggled this season. He did well in the Capital One Cup for goals, but otherwise, it's only his second goal in this entire Premier League season. So let me know in the comments, is it time for Diafra Sacco to go? Has he really lost his scoring touch at West Ham? Should we look to bring someone in, the likes of a Batshuayi, maybe as a backup striker? Because I would think we're going to need at least a backup striker if we look to possibly change to a two-striker formation next year to placate both Dybala and Lacazette. We will have to see. That's something we're going to try out in the preseason next year, in the preseason tournament. We're going to try out 3 different formations, 4-4-2, might try out the diamond as well, and we're going to probably give a tryout, of course, to our 4-2-3-1, the favorite formation we've been working all season. But Sunderland do get back into it here. Jack Rodwell with a really nice goal here. Great bit of work from the winger to find Rodwell. He skips around the defender. Noble, unfortunately, giving up the space, and he puts it top corner. Nothing Jack Butland can do as Bridcut goes through and scores. But then it would be one-way traffic. Sunderland here trying to come from behind. Barini does really well, skins Aaron Cresswell, but Butland equal to the task to keep the ball out. Another chance, though, from a corner just minutes later. Lenz whips the ball in. He's looking for Barini, who heads it off the crossbar, and Jack Rodwell, that's one of those typical FIFA, off the post, straight to the feet of an opponent's, right to him, and he just puts it in the back of the net before anybody else can react. It's a typical legendary FIFA goal, unfortunately, but it is a good finish from Rodwell, or Bridcut nonetheless, and it's in the back of the net. I think I said Rodwell a couple of times, but it's Liam Bridcut, so he's got a pair of goals now, equaling Lanzini, who shows off some lovely skill with a roulette to dance around him, flicks the ball in, looking for the head of Leon Goretzka. It's an unbelievable save. Then he goes for the spectacular overhead kick, but 2 really good saves by Manone to keep Sunderland in the matchup. Noble now plays it into Dybala, who we've brought on, looking to maybe score a couple late goals, as he's only a goal or 2 behind Diego Costa, who's the current Golden Boot carrier. So if Dybala can maybe put a late goal or 2 in, he might be able to strike that away late on. But unfortunately, he's not able to get the ball through yet. Oxford does well defending here, with Butland able to claim the ball in the 87th minute. He starts a counterattack the other way. We see Lanzini with Dybala in so much space. He's got runners on the right side of him. He does really well to dance around a couple of players. Back into Danny Ceballos, who's getting a chance now to come on as a sub. Finds Sacco. He goes for the strike, and unfortunately it's deflected just wide of the goal for Diafra, looking for his second of the evening. But Giaccherini the other way. Stoppage time now. Barini inside the Lens. We want the victory late on here. We need to hold on if we want to end our campaign with a win. Jack Butland with an unbelievable save yet again, which is going to cause Manone to come up here for a corner. Lens to be the man to whip it in. Sunderland have their goalkeeper up. Finds potentially Manone, but it's headed away only as far as Patrick Van Aanholt. He goes forward into Barini. He's through, and Jack Butland yet again with a heroic save. What a performance in spite of letting up 2 goals, and that would be all she wrote. We do end our campaign on a high note. Manuel Lanzini, that man with 2 goals, is my man of the match. He's going to win Moose's Mighty Hammer Player of the Match. 3 Moose's Mighty Hammer points in the final match of the season for Manuel Lanzini. 2 for Aaron Cresswell and 1 for Jackie Butland, who was unbelievable. Sunderland had 10 shots on target. Butland did his absolute best to lead us to victory. So fantastic performance from Jack all around. And that's going to be the last match. So we will see in 2 episodes time our Moose's Mighty Hammer Player of the Season based on this voting. So we'll have that tallied up in 2 episodes, and you will see the winner, our Player of the Season. We'll have other awards as well. Of course, our awards are coming in 2 days. Next episode, we will have Goal of the Season voting, so be sure to tune in episode 59, because we will have Goal of the Season. But we get 16.2 million for actually finishing second in the Premier League, which is fantastic. Cresswell, unfortunately, bruised elbow, but he's only out for 5 days. And Noble has been suspended, so I believe he'll be suspended actually for the first match of next season. Butland has won goalkeeper of the tournament, which is unbelievable. Diego Costa, Golden Boot. Team of the season, we've got Butland, Winston Reed, and Paulo Dybala in Barclays Premier League Team of the Season. And player of the competition, they always pick the top goalie for some reason. But Butland actually wins Player of the Year in the Premier League, so that's fantastic for us as well. And we take our final look at the table. We finish in second. We will be playing in the Champions League next season. An unbelievable season all around. And hopefully suggest some players in the comments. I want a holding midfielder that will absolutely, champion our team as we move into the Champions League. We need to add some depth that's going to, you know, really help us next season. So as always, guys, leave your suggestions in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Be sure to like, subscribe if you're new to the channel. And as always, thank you so much. We'll see you next episode. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Like we always do with this time. I got to shine.